Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Vet Talks, Cougars Inc. Who do we have on our show today during the Christmas season?
What's going on again? Hello, and thank you for Vet Talks, the voice of the veteran community. And today we've got Jeremy Staat. He's a Marine veteran, Iraq combat veteran. He also went to ASU University, played on the Steelers and Rams, played professional football. He's a husband and father, and he's running for Congress, 8th District in Bakersfield, California. So thanks for giving some time and showing up for the show and for us veterans, man. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing very well, and thanks for the great intro. Just looking forward to representing and supporting and serving our country once again in this avenue through the, what I like to call the snake pit of politics in America today. But I'm doing extremely well. I'm excited to be a part of this program and looking forward to, having a good time with you guys today.
Oh, great. Thanks for being on the show and to get some media and get some coverage and, get you some votes, man. And I'm just proud of what you're doing. I'm proud of being of service. And, I grew up in California. I played football in Ventura. I wasn't that fast, man. I was a 5'6", 40. I ran with just slow playing football. But I saw you play defensive end was cool. But, I just hope I want to help you get some votes, man. The primary's coming up in March, right?
That's correct, March 3rd.
Okay. So how are you campaigning? Are you doing anything? Got any upcoming events or dates going on, anything?
Yeah, the biggest thing right now is I'm learning a lot. As a first-time candidate, there's a lot of things that I'm learning, I'm going through, just trying to kind of fill out the arena, if you will. But, as a Marine, as a professional football player, there's been a lot of different arenas I've been a part of. And so this is just another arena I'm just trying to learn who's who in the zoo. But the biggest thing is really for me, my biggest, reason for running is really to be a voice for our veterans in Congress. Right now, as Congress sits, less than 22% of the 435 seats in Congress are filled with veterans. And then we wonder why, our veterans aren't being prioritized like they should be in this country, and why the VA system is essentially failing us. And it's not that, the people within the VA system are the problem. It's the people that are actually making the decisions for the VA system, which is the problem. My thing is I love my doctors. I love the healthcare professionals that I use through the VA system. But the problem is that they're overworked, they're underpaid, and they're just inundated with too many patients, too many veterans trying to get into the user system. And what it's frustrating to me is that, we got these other politicians who have never served, who are pushing socialized healthcare. And it's like, wait a minute, man, if you want socialized healthcare, it's already here. Drop your high dollar healthcare plans that you have there in Congress and your political parties or your political position. Drop that healthcare. Join the VA system. Come on, Bernie Sanders. You want socialized healthcare? Man, it's right here in the VA system. That's one of the things.
They live in a cloud. I know. No,
Jeremy could be the first congressional candidate who actually went through the VA healthcare system. Okay. That would be phenomenal. Secondly, Jeremy, I love that you bring up, this is the state of California that we're all in. Okay, Bakersfield, for those who don't know, is in California. I believe the 8th district, right?
Bakersfield's actually the 23rd district. I'm actually running in the 8th Congressional District, which is just east of Bakersfield and Kern County. So technically, I'm a carpetbagger.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, we are carpetbagging the 8th district. And
yes,
I love it.
But in that area and in our state, we have the highest unemployment and homeless veteran crisis across the nation. And I love what you said. I have a phenomenal team of medical doctors at Loma Linda VA Hospital. And I go in there the other day and I got a problem with my shoulder. And the doctor goes, well, I can't scan your shoulder. I go, what do you mean? He goes, I can give you an MRI of your neck. I go, yeah, but my shoulder's injured. He goes, I know, but I don't have that in my system. So they have the best medical care in the world. We got the greatest doctors there, but they're not allowed to utilize the system as they best see fit, which is a great point you brought up. So to put it on you, a little heat on you, Jeremy, we put you into Congress. We all vote you in. And what can we do to make some changes here locally first in our state?
Well, the biggest thing for here, for the state of California, we own 40% of the nation's homelessness. And many of those are our veterans, our brothers and sisters in arms. A lot of people don't realize that, the highest rate of homelessness amongst veterans are our female veterans. And a lot of that has to do with the way they were treated while they were in service. But, I have friends right now that are literally living on the streets who are veterans. I had one kid who actually joined the Marine Corps after I joined the Marine Corps, because I joined the Marine Corps at 29 years old, and I had a couple of individuals who also decided that they wanted to join the military service as well. And this young man, he was a few years younger than me, but not very many years younger than me, but he's actually served 4 years in the Marine Corps. He's actually got, I believe, 2 Purple Hearts. But he's now addicted to heroin, living on the streets. He's got 4 beautiful daughters that he's basically abandoned. And it's like, how can we change, his mindset? How can we change his heart? And the biggest thing I can only come to grips with is knowing that, the only thing that's going to change his outlook on life is changing his heart. So how do we change a veteran's heart? How do we change these individuals to want to become successful, to become, something bigger than they are? And the biggest thing for me that I see here in the state of California is that the state of California, the government, the people who are in charge now love to victimize everybody, including veterans. You're not a veteran because, the wars that you're in, you're a veteran, but you're also a victim because the government put you in these wars. And now, you're the victim and you need to be helped, and we're going to take care of you, and you need to rely upon the government. You need to do all these things. Well, unfortunately, the more you rely upon something, the more it controls you. And my buddy is a perfect example. Here he is living on the streets, waits the first of every month for his $3,600 a month or whatever it is, tax-free, because he's 100%. And then boom, it's going right up his arm in the form of heroin. How do you change that mindset? How do you change that? Well, we got to get people out of the victim mentality. Just because we went to war, especially if you enlisted after 9/11, you knew you were going to war. So you can't pull the PTSD card and, hey, poor me, I've got problems, mental health issues. No. You knew what you were getting into, but we've got to change the mindset that you're not a victim, you're a warrior, and you have all the abilities and the leadership abilities to go out and become extremely successful if they choose to be. Unfortunately, right now, we've got to get to these people on a personal level and stop trying to throw money at the situation thinking that's going to resolve it. It's not. We've got to build relationships with these people and change their hearts and their minds, and for them to believe in themselves once again that they are capable of doing these things and that they're not victims.
And that is why we have created the program Vet Talks, ladies and gentlemen. We have Step 1, streets to service. Step 2, service to small business. Step 3, small business to procurement ready. So I love what you're saying, Jeremy. What we want to do is bring programs to the state of California that will allow these veterans, you're right, $3,000 something a month is not enough to do anything except for sit there in your pity, wallow in your misery. And they haven't been offered the programs with the veterans in place to help them get to functional. So, Cougars Inc., what do we have for Vet Talk?
Jeremy, I've got friends too growing up in Ventura, and there is a lot of heroin there too now. And a few of my friends passed away from the heroin. And then when the Marine, sad, shot up the borderline bar, that's what really touched me and really wanted me to get to Doton and start the show, to reach out and like you're saying, get some media, veteran outreach to right to the source. And what I was looking into running for Congress as well, in the paperwork and dealing with that's tough, and I mean your time and dealing with that is another thing, but getting the federal money to the state, to the local government the right way, which the leadership in California is not doing.
How much money do you think, Jeremy, is being spent in California on a homeless crisis right now?
Oh gosh, I wouldn't have those numbers right now, but to be honest with you, I don't think that they actually want these people to get off the street.
They don't.
I think they actually want to be able to control the aspect of the life. They don't care. Yeah, like I just read an article this morning where some guy in San Francisco literally walked into a grocery store, drops his pants, drops a deuce right there in the aisle, in one of the aisles, grabs the toilet paper off the shelf and wipes his butt right there in the middle of the store. I mean, we're seeing medieval plagues and diseases coming back in these situations. And the government in the state of California, they're sitting back going, oh, well, we're worried about climate change. Well, man, I'm worried about some plague, some biohazard nastiness on the aisle floor that you just walk through with your shoes. And now I'm going to take that stuff home to me and bring it into my home. I'm more worried about can't even walk down the streets without worried about bringing in some, nasty disease back into our own homes, because we can't even, get these people off the streets, because once again, I don't think the government wants to get them off the street. I think they actually enjoy that, because, to them, they're like, well, they can live their lives of wherever they want. They're free. As long as they keep voting us into office, we don't care, because we're living in our $1 million mansions. Why do we care about what's going on?
It's a sanctioned state. It's a sanctuary state. Hollywood, they don't want to film down there the diseases. It's run off Hollywood. California used to outgrow countries. It's sad. We grew up there when it was beautiful and magical. I know, and that's why
I think it's one of the fourth largest economies in the world, and we can't even get people to get them to go to work. Well, they don't want to go to work.
Porta potties out there. Get porta potties.
Yeah.
So if one of them lives in one, it's how it goes. I know.
You have these encampments now where, I've been down to Hollywood. My wife and I would go down to Hollywood and go to different plays and stuff. And, just seeing these encampments, especially down in Venice Beach, where, they've actually got streets lined with motor homes and broken down cars, literally right across the street from multi-million-dollar homes. And the residents are going, how are we going to fix this? How are we going to change this? But it's a mindset that, oh, you're a victim. Let the government take care of you. You can live however you want to live, even if it includes sitting down, living in a van down by the river, injecting heroin in your veins. It's like I don't think they really care. And now they have safe injections points where it's like, okay, now you're just enabling these people to do we're continue to reward bad behavior, especially in this state. And I tell you what, the one thing that really led me to, run for Congress was when Kamala Harris was talking about giving, dishonorably discharged veterans back their VA health care. And I'm like, wait a minute, why do we continue to reward bad behavior in this country? I had to do everything I had to do, had to get my good cookie award, had to do all these things. I had to play by the rules in order to, get my VA health care and my GI Bill benefits. Why are we continuing to reward bad behavior? And I get it. We've all known the 10%ers that we served with. And you're like, my God, this dude can't follow the rules. He's always drunk. He's always doing this. He's always doing that. He's going to give us a bad name. But then when they get reprimanded and served, essentially have to be accountable for their actions. Now the state of California wants to turn around and say, no, you're fine. That's okay that, you were an alcoholic before you went in the military service.
You had a bad childhood. Your childhood was bad. You didn't have a perfect childhood.
Yeah, and all these things. I'm like, who had a perfect childhood? We all have these problems, but the biggest thing for me at the end of the day, is I really have to rely heavily on my faith. I've been through transitions from the NFL, from the transitions from the Marine Corps back to civilian life, all these different transitions in my life. Heck, I work in the educational system in the state of California.
Oh, I saw you're a professor. Yes, as well. Yes, professor.
Yeah. So, I'm out there I teach welding, and I'm trying to give these trade skills back into these individuals. There's jobs available right now in the state, and this is what really infuriates me, is that there's jobs right now in the state of California for welders, $800 to $1,000 a day, that are going unfilled. Now, if you do the math, that's over $200,000 a year just to weld, that are going unfilled because we don't have candidates that have the welding certifications, have a clean driving record, and can pass a drug test. So between opioids and weed, these jobs are going unfilled. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's opportunities. And I wish I could find these highly motivated veterans who are living on the street, put them into my class, get them their education because they got their GI Bill, get them the schooling they need, get them certified, get them clean, and get them in this job market. Because with that type of mindset that was taught in us, instilled in us in the military, man, there's opportunities everywhere.
All right. So, Jeremy, I like what you're saying, because this is a huge opportunity for veterans to get employment, all right, which will be a huge part of our Vet Talk program from streets to service. Now, let's pin all that for 1 second, Jeremy, and let's talk about running for Congress in the 8th District. Where are you at? What does it take to get on the ballot? Are we on the ballot? And what does it take to rally the people in that area in Kern and other counties to vote?
Yeah, the biggest thing is learning. For me, it's learning the steps of procedure. You know, getting nominations, getting signatures. The biggest thing now is getting on the ballot, going via the signatures, and then from there, once you're on the ballot, it's all about raising money. Unfortunately, this whole sad thing that I've learned at the end of the day comes down to money. I mean, it's money. I'm not the type of individual who is, you know, I'm not money driven. I mean, obviously I left the NFL, you know, making $300,000 a year to join the Marine Corps for $17,000 a year and get shot at. So, you know, it's really hard for me, you know, trying to comprehend this whole political gamut, if you will, that it's all based on money, you know, and it's me sitting on the phone dialing 5 or 6 hours a day, just asking people for their money. And it's like, man, you know, so people don't actually get voted in on their merit, what they've accomplished, what they stand for. And it basically comes out like, well, no, it's all about money. I'm just like, man, this is really sad. You know, so whoever has the money is essentially going to buy the seat. And it's like, well, yeah, that's kind of how it goes. I'm like, wow. Like, I never thought in a million years that it would come down to me sitting on my cell phone and making phone calls 5 or 6 hours a day, just asking everybody in my phone book, hey, can I get $100 from you? Hey, can I get $200? Hey, can you donate $5,000 to my campaign? It's just like, it's very humbling, but it's also very humiliating at the same time. And so my hat goes off to those politicians who have done it that way, who have done a grassroots a campaign. Mine's completely grassroots. I'm an anti-establishment guy. I believe that, you know, Congress should have term limits. I'm sick and tired of seeing these individuals like Pelosi and these other cats that have been in there for like 40 years. It's like, wow, you know, you've been in there for 40 years, yet you're going to blame, you know, one president who's been in there for 3 years, that everything that's wrong with America is his fault for his 3 years in office, but yet you've been in for 40? It's like, wait a minute, come on.
You're a problem. For 40 years in there. I mean,
do you have the signatures already?
We're working on the signatures right now.
Okay, wait, where could people give their signature, or they have to be within your district?
They have to be in the district.
Perfect. Okay, so anybody within the district of which district? 8th district, right?
The 8th district, which is northern San Bernardino, Mono, and Inyo County. It's actually the largest congressional district in the state of California, if not the nation. It actually encompasses 33,000 square miles of the state of California. It's a gigantic district. It also encompasses the logistical Marine Corps base in Barstow, 29 Palms, also the Army base Fort Irwin.
Okay, do you have a digital collection for signatures right now, or how are you collecting?
No digital signatures. It all has to be handwritten signatures.
Right, so we need volunteers.
Nomination.
Okay, and then for donations, do you have a way to collect donations online currently?
Yes, the donations. You can go to my website, Staat for Congress, which is STAAT for Congress.com. And there's actually a donation page there. They can also find that page through my personal website, which is jeremystaat.com, just JEREMYSTAAT.com. There's a hot link on there. It says Staat for Congress. You just click on that hot link. It goes to the Staat for Congress page. And then there's the donation button there at the bottom. But yeah, the biggest thing at the end of the day, and like I said, I'm a straightforward kind of person. There's no BS with me. In order for me to win this seat, I have to raise anywhere between $800,000 and $1 million.
Nothing. Spare change.
Yeah, I could ask that amount.
Wait, let me see what's in my pocket. No, I'm kidding. All right, StaatForCongress.com. Ladies and gentlemen, StaatForCongress.com. We have been so honored to have Jeremy Staat on our show today. Former NFL player, former combat Marine, and now currently a congressional candidate in the 8th District of California. StaatForCongress.com, where you can help make a donation for him to help run for office. And for those of you in the 8th District and those who want to step up and volunteer to help him raise signatures, you can do that as well. We will put the links at the end of our show. Folks, Vet Talks, stay tuned. Stay tuned.